Good morning, B. How is it going?
Good morning. It's going great. How you doing, Butterfly?
Good. Before we get started, go ahead and create a new Instagram key. I think what might have happened this time is it closed before we started. So go ahead and if you're
Okay.
not live there and it doesn't appear, so send me another key so that I can get it going while you are bringing the good people in. Welcome, 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 everybody.
It's good. Sounds good. I tell
So,
you what, it is on its way right now.
all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The things we have to do, right? But I almost gave something away. I'm gonna say it. The light is on and everybody's home. Y'all will get that in a minute. Y'all will get that. Good morning, good
I see
morning,
what
good
you
morning,
did.
good people. Wake up, wake up, wake up with us. I am going to get some rest. I almost said something we're not supposed to say. I was going to say I'm tired, but we've been taught here to say I am going to get some rest. So I'm kind of on this fatigue high.
All right, I was about to say, you seem like you got a lot of.
Like that's the only way to get through it, baby, is to make it. No,
Heard
no, I'm
somebody.
I'm doing this on
What's?
purpose. No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no,
Okay.
I'm doing this
Intentional.
on purpose. Like it's kind of like how Zali and Tupac get when they're really tired. Yeah, it's how they get. So, like that's how I'm feeling today.
My two kids.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
yeah.
welcome everybody. Mom, I hope you got that stream key and we can bring everybody in. But if you are joining us from, as of right now, Facebook Live and Instagram Live, welcome and thank you for joining us this morning and including us as a part of your morning routine. Even if this is the first one, a routine to where we meet here every single morning at 7
Go
a.m.
live, Brandon. I'm sorry.
I
I,
will
I don't
wait.
want to mess this up again.
Okay.
Brandon, if you don't mind going
No,
live
you're,
there.
you're
Okay.
good.
I don't want to miss.
No problem. I see it. I
Sorry to
see it.
interrupt
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate it. No, no problem at all. But again, guys, make us a part of your morning routine. This is a great part of waking up. We don't have Folgers in our cup, but we got our good coffee to help us wake up. Um, we're here every morning at 7 a.m. And what do we do at 7 a.m.? We're going through the Daily Motivations for American Success, written by Dennis Kimbro. An amazing book. This is full of inspirations every single morning, and it follows throughout the day. It shows up in our life. It's like a book that keeps popping. If I go into a or even just into a store or something, there's something I see or something that happens almost in every single instant that I can refer back to this book. And we're only 85, 86 days. What day is this, Mom? What?
Day 85. Day
85.
85.
85.
Yeah.
So 85 consecutive days we've been here reading this book. Now, a little bit about this book. Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. In 360 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover and use the present moment and our own gifts to send labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and how to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as X, Miriam Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. And who could not use motivation every single day of the year? Um, so welcome, folks. Y'all ready to jump in? Mom, when you got anything for us, want to shout out anybody in the comments? What's going on in your world besides being a little, as you call
A little what?
it. Did
Um,
you say
um,
hi?
I said I don't know, fatigue. I'm fatigued, but I'm going to get some rest. I'm on a fatigue high. Like the
That's it.
kids,
That's
when they
what's
get
up.
and they get sleepy, y'all, they start doing some of everything because they don't want to go to sleep, but their body, their body is shutting down and they're fighting it, right? So,
Right.
good morning, Miss Brenda Davis. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Thank you for rocking with us. Um,
All
just
the
want to
time.
thank
Shout
you.
out to Brenda.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I just want to thank you. Just want to thank you. Can't wait for us to get together. Like truly get together. We need to have a grown woman sleepover. Y'all don't, Brandon, you don't know nothing about that.
No, I don't know nothing about that.
I know
I don't know
about
nothing
that.
about that. But
Yeah.
you got anything else, Mom? You wanna add before we jump right into it?
No, don't pick it up so you don't have to put it down.
Oh, that's
There
right.
you
I
go.
know that's right.
There you
Well,
go.
thank you everyone. Thank you everyone that's coming in from Instagram Live, Facebook Live, or you. If you get the chance, make sure that you like this. If you can, YouTube on In This Season podcast and subscribe, like it. Tell the algorithm that this is the type of content that you want to see. Inspirational content. That's what we're trying to bring in. So, and every day. So, day 85, tomorrow's day 86. By that time, you subscribe. But let's jump into it. Today's title is, oh, please.
Bum, bum, bum,
The light
bum.
is on. The light is on, and somebody home. The light is on, and somebody is home. So our quote of the day, John Lucas, who's an NBA coach and covering addict. John Lucas, I think former now NBA coach covering addict, who said, "I
Mm.
believe in miracles. I'm living proof anybody can come back from the dead. I believe in miracles. I'm living proof anybody back from the dead." All right, and the passage goes, "I don't like this man," the doctor thought. Though he would not say it out loud, his heart wasn't in it. Besides being broke, the man was dirty and unkept. The doctor wondered when his patient had bathed last. Nonetheless, he was compassionate and treated his patient's cuts and bruises. The old fellow thanked him and left office. Nearly a month later, the man returned. This time, he looked much better. He was neatly and clean from head to toe. The fellow approached the physician, extended his hand, and said, "I want to thank you for saving my life." "What do you mean?" the doctor responded. "When I walked through the door last," the man explained, "I was near the end. Everything had fallen apart. Wandering the streets, I decided that I could not go on, and I made my way to the bridge where I intended to jump and end my life. As I approached the top of the bridge, I saw your office lights and decided to give life one more chance. You were kind and helpful, even though I had no money and I was such a mess. Doctor, you made the difference in my living or dying. Since you treated me, things have started my way, and now I feel that I truly want to live, and I will, thanks to you." Like this doctor, each of us has the power to light many lives, and likewise, others have brightened and blessed lives in so many ways. None of us know the strength and the power of our lights. These lights shine brightest when they brighten the paths of others. So the affirmation that we read 3 times, one for me, one at the bottom of the page, and the last one for the person you're going to send this is, "I will be a point of light and light the paths of others. I
Mm.
be a point of light and light the path of others." Last time, and Mom, I think we have a slight typo on the one down there. I
Slight
will
what?
be
Oh, we do?
a
What do
typo. I will be a path. The quote is, "I will be
a point
of
of
light
light. Okay. Okay. Did
and
this last
light the
night,
path
y'all.
of
Told
others."
y'all. Okay. Look at Google over there finding something.
And I'm all, oh, no, I'm doing it from the
What
phone
did
too,
I
so it's
put?
like real out of the screen. You
Point.
said the path,
Okay. I like
and
path.
it's the point. Yeah. I do too. I do too. I just think some
Yeah.
little details that
Is
might give
that
us
right?
further insight.
Yes.
So,
Cool beans.
but y'all
All
let
right.
us know in the comments. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think that passage? What first comes to you before we jump into it? I want you guys to write down if you are attentive and type it out for us and let us know in the comments what you thought about that. The light is on in somebody's home. What did y'all think about the story, quote, and the title or the affirmation that struck you or resonated with you? Let us know in the comments and what you think about it. But Mom, I'll turn it over to you. What did you think about
I
the light is
started,
on and some?
well, the light is on in somebody's home. Um, I really believe the light is always on. It's just, have we returned home? Because life will allow us and cause us, all of us, to leave home. Where's home? Right at the center, at the feet of God, right? Um, being that servant and knowing that is our purpose. So I truly believe that our light is always on. It's just, it's kind of like when we say, if you're looking for God, just know that He's not the one that's moved or is lost. It's you are. You've moved. You've gone back or way too far. You've left. So I do believe. I like it. I do believe the light is on, and that it's just a matter of if somebody's home, if somebody recognizes their light, so that they can. And let me get our affirmation back out there. I'm sorry, you guys, I corrected it. If they can, be that point of light, because you can't be it if you're not there. Like you can't love somebody, y'all. Can't say this enough. You cannot love anyone if you don't, and I'm going to say truly, I hate to even put anything in front of it, but I feel the need to do so. Truly love yourself first. You don't love God if you don't love yourself, right? And so the light is on. Just know that your light is on, but are you home? Can the person
Mm,
that you were assigned to light the path of, if they were in this situation, would they see your light and know that it's okay to come because somebody's there, that you are there? You are there where your light is, at your home, your destination, your place, whether you have reached it or not, like finally reached it. Because I truly believe that the destination is when we take our last breath, to me.
mm,
So I loved that part. And then as you were reading it, and it's this will tell y'all's age, I believe. I thought about the song, "This Little Light of Mine." Y'all remember that? I'm gonna let it shine.
mm,
Remember that? I almost want to tell us
mm,
to let's sing it together. Maybe we'll sing it out, right? But this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Are you willing to let it shine? Because that takes work. That takes you showing up, so that the man or the woman who's at their last hour, and I've been there, I've been there, I've been there, y'all. And imagine if you haven't been there. I can't even tell you to imagine, because there's no imagining it. Being
mm.
in it, and then on this side of it, thinking, "Oh my gosh, I was there. I was there where this world felt too big for me." And I'll be honest, this world felt too big, and God at the time felt too little. I'm just gonna keep it real. My light was on. I just wasn't home. I wasn't home. So Brandon, I love this. I also love the honesty of it. Because if truth be told, we've come across people that we're like, I just don't. I'm just so over them. I don't want to touch them. I don't want to be around them. But that's not my call. At the same time, I want to know my light's on, and I want to be home, but I want to know who to answer the door for. because I too, I got in a place where, oh yeah, come on in. I'm bringing people in God hadn't even sent to the door. The light wasn't supposed to be on that night. I was supposed to be asleep in the bed, resting. So discernment, there's so much in this, but where the doctor says or thought, because he did not speak it, but you guys, thoughts are words as well. He thought, though he would not say it out loud, his heart wasn't in it. His heart wasn't in it. But based on this story, I believe he gave 100% of wherever he was. His heart wasn't in it, so he may not have been at 100. And Brandon, as you said, when we're at 50%, all we can do is all we can do. So on the day you feel 50%, you show up 50% of you, then give all of that 50%, because all we can do is all we can do. And sometimes the light needs to be on and somebody needs to be home for us. And we need to have the wisdom to say, I'm still light. I have my own light and I'm home, but I need to go knock on somebody else's door whose light's shining. So there's many ways that we can look at this, many things we can take from it. Going back and saying, this guy said, I want to thank you. He went back for saving my life. That's something that I think we forget to do with the people who have um, left their light on for us and stayed home for us. Stayed home and left the light on for you to come, right? And it doesn't mean you're coming to
Mm-hmm.
my house, because we can meet people at the grocery store. Interesting, because I feel like I have been running into this situation all week. Like, I had a little boy. I was at Walmart yesterday, and this little had to be 3 years old, y'all. He comes running through the doors of Walmart. And so, you know, I'm thinking there's some mother, a father, or somebody, an adult coming in behind him. Nobody ever came. I mean, he just came running through the door calling for his mama. And I tried to stop him because nobody ever came, but he was running so fast, I literally could not catch him. And
Mm.
I asked someone there, I said, who is he with? And by then, he's down down to the left of Walmart, and a lady gets him, and I'm like, I don't even know if that's his mom. So I'm thinking something's crazy here because nobody ever came after him from outside. Literally, whomever was in the car with this young 3-year-old let him out to go into Walmart to find his mom. Can y'all imagine that? And so, of course, that put me, I'm like, what is going on with you people? What is going on? And this lady was walking. She said, "Baby, I don't know. That's a good question." And I told her, I said, "You know what? I really am about to become a Noah. There is an ark. There is a corner that needs an ark to be started on. Like, people just, we talked about that this week, Brandon. People just don't seem here." And the police got involved. The police was like, you can't do that. Whomever is in that car, I felt like they should have. I felt like it was child endangerment, because someone outside saw the kid running through the Walmart parking lot. Y'all know how they drive in Walmart. So
Mm.
whomever let that child out and thought it was okay to allow him to run across Walmart parking lot by himself. Is their light on? I still think so. Are they home? Absolutely not. Even the mother whom the police was talking to, it was like, I hear you, but I'm not hearing you. You're not reaching me, which is why I thought y'all should take that child. That's exactly what I thought. And I don't like to say that any child should be taken from their parents. But that was one that I think that child does not need to go home with them. But not my call. The child did. So
Mm.
it's just, I don't know. Is your light on? Are you home? And do you have the wisdom and the understanding that even when you don't want to, if it's your assignment, you do it to the best of your ability? Are you able to discern if this is one that I answer? Is this a knock that I answer? And if I do, how do I do my job? How do I be a servant so that God's kingdom is glorified? Over to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Mom. You shared some really good insights, and as you were speaking, um, You know me. I'm very funny sometimes about inviting people home,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I've always been that way. I've only had a number of friends that I would invite home. And I think before I get into everything, I think thinking about the title versus the passage and the distinction of where the light was on is important.
Mm-hmm.
And the proximity and the level of intrusion that we allow others to take up in our life. So, for example, the doctor who saw this patient. This patient was unkept, unclean, um, seemingly likely living on the street. Probably had not bathed, it said in the passage, for a long time. And he comes in this doctor's office needing some what seemed to be serious assistance. And the doctor helped to heal this man, even though he didn't want to, because of the state of this man being smelly, unkept, dirty. The doctor didn't want to do anything with this man, but he did anyway. Why? Because it was his job. It was his responsibility. He, having being a physician, had more ability to respond, so therefore he was responsible in that space. He was the steward in the position of power, who had the most influence on whether or not this person was healed, or continued to suffer from whatever ailment he had. But now let's think about, what if, so the gentleman who came in, the patient who came in, uh, he came in later on after the doctor had seen him, fixed him, healed him, and the man came in weeks later, maybe months later, and was cleaned up and said thank you to the doctor. The doctor, from the context, seems like the doctor almost didn't even notice the man because he looked
Mm-hmm.
so different. So see this man being transformed, um, from and so much different than how he was, made it seem almost like a different person. Which that reminds me of a biblical story. But that was a different take at this point. Now you see the fruit of the labor. You see the transformation that was able to change, to happen, the miracle that was able to happen in this person's life. And you can see the distance between where that person was coming in that day and where the person is now. So this man was on the top of a bridge about to take his life, and he saw the light on at the physician's clinic, and decided to come down off of that bridge where he was going to commit. Um, he was going to unalive himself, as the people say now. Um, and he did it because he saw the light was on and he knew that he needed help. There was a resource there. Now imagine if the physician didn't go to work that day, or for some reason closed his business down, or didn't fulfill that position, and didn't have his business there. Imagine if there was no light on in the city.
Mm-hmm.
If there was no resource for that man to go to, that man's life might not, he might not have his life at this point, but the business was open. But now think about this, the proximity. Had that light been on at that physician's home instead of his place of business, and that same man came to his doorstep, would the physician be wrong for turning him away? Would the physician be wrong for not coming to the door? Even though his light was on and he was home, he didn't know this gentleman, and this gentleman is at his house asking for help. And in different day and time, it may have been more appropriate to let that man in. But I want to make a distinction of proximity, that the
Mm-hmm.
title is, uh, um,
Somebody's
the light
home.
is on and somebody's home. Well, in that passage, I want to make the distinction that the light was on and somebody's in business. Somebody's
Mm-hmm.
at their place of business. And so, and for our sisters, specifically for the women here, um, you're in a disadvantaged position physically. So you have to be extra protective if there isn't a man there to be that barrier between you and the outside world. And so I don't want us to to promote just letting everyone and anyone into your space because you want to be nice or you want to be compassionate. The first thing you do is protect yourself, right? The first thing you do is use your discernment, you know. And I would advise us to be a light in the spaces where light is appropriate. Be a
Hmm.
light, but be a light in the space that is appropriate. When you're going to sleep and when you're resting, the light don't need to be on. You're wasting energy. And there are times when, like my mother said, when the light is on, but you're not home. So when you have that light on, know that there is the chance that you are a beacon to someone, that you are a guide for someone. So if that light is on, know that there's a responsibility that comes with that, right? But where are you? Are you home? Are you at your place of business? I believe that there are proximities, there's levels of intimacy, and there's levels of distance that are best for us to keep in different situations. So again, if the light's on at your home, maybe that means that your family, your close friends and associates and neighbors and people within your community, you accept them into that home. Whereas in your business or the place that is more of a resource for the community, that has a different level of who comes in and who comes out. So I just wanted to make that distinction.
So,
Uh,
Brandon, a couple of
mhm.
things. Thank you. Interesting. Thank you for sharing the word and posing it to women about the light being on in somebody's home. Because, and we won't take it there this morning, but I do believe it's appropriate to say, women, sometimes we get really excited at the glimpse of possibility of light, right? But that light does not always mean that he's home, right? That he's home, that he is a servant of God, that he is prepared or at least willing to do what needs to be done to be the head of the household, to guide you properly, to be a man that you long to pray for, right? His protection and all of that. So another show we might have to do that. I like that title as we could relate it to relationship. Um, but let's look at I believe in miracles. The quote: "I'm living proof anybody can come back from the dead." I take this as it being a doctor's office, right? And it's at night. I'm assuming that's my assumption that it's at night and the lights on. Um, because when he goes to the bridge, he sees the light. So we could see this as a miracle that the doctor is still in the office at this hour and the lights on. It doesn't speak about anybody else being in the office. We can assume, you know, that for me, I'm assuming that nobody else was there. The doctor was the only one there. That's my assumption for the sake of this story. But when it gets down to when he says he comes back to thank him, and the doctor, responded, "What do you mean?" He says, "When I walked through your door last month," the man explained, "I was near the end. I was near the end. Everything had fallen apart. After wandering the streets, I decided that I could not go on any longer. I made my way to the nearest bridge where I intended to jump and end my life. As I approached the top of the bridge, I saw your office lights and decided to give life one more chance. You were kind and helpful, even though I had no money and I was such a mess. Doctor, you made the difference in my living or dying. Since you treated me, things have started to go my way. And now I feel that I truly want to live, and I will, thanks to you." And I read that over because we come across this person every day, whether we know it or not, whether we see it or not, whether they see our light in us or not, or recognize that we are home. Sometimes they might see the light and be like, "No, that person's not home." May not be the words that they say, but they may not feel comfortable enough to open up to you, or just to say, you know what, I'm going to give life one more chance through this person. I
Mhm.
think I can talk to this person, right? So it's a double-edged sword for both of us, for both of these people, right? Because the doctor could have been like, no, I'm not opening my door. And even though he didn't want to treat him, there is the miracle. There is the miracle in that. So the light is on in somebody's home. And I believe the quote, I believe in miracles. I'm living proof that anybody can come back from the dead. Some of us are the living dead. Just doing life, just trying to make it. I was out yesterday at another Walmart, and I ended up just getting some. I wanted something just to hold me over until lunchtime. So I went up to the deli, and y'all, I did everything possible to try to make this young man smile or just have a laugh. His spirit was so heavy, he would not crack. And I walked away thinking, what is wrong? What could be so wrong? Y'all, we have, and yesterday I think we talked about, well, rush hour the day before, I don't know, about how much we have. We have so much. We can microwave a meal. We have things that we thought we may never have access to. Life is like this. And maybe that's the problem. I believe it was rush hour.
Yeah.
Yesterday I noticed how much I was rushing to the point where I just said, you know what? I'm slowing down. It is what it is. Let it do what it do. But this hour is not going to do me. Because I was all over the place yesterday. I had many errands to run, stops for work, and all of that. And so I felt myself getting and feeling anxiety, like heartbeat going fast, like I got so much to do. And I felt like so little time to do it. So if I give in to that, guess who loses? Me. So if I love me, guess what? I'm slowing down. And what will be, will be.
Mm.
If I'm a little late, I'm a little late. But I won't be there on time and have anxiety.
Mm.
So my light's on, and I'm very intentional about making sure that somebody's always home. And for me, you all, I truly feel like I have been this doctor many times over. And I hate to say the word treated. I've been there for people, and I've not always wanted to be.
Mm.
But I understand the assignment. And I'm coming to the place where I understand that because I am on assignment doesn't mean that every assignment is mine.
Exactly. I think that's
I
the
understand
distinction.
that.
That's the distinction I was trying to make, that every assignment isn't ours, and we have to have discernment to know the distinction of that, because I think it's easy to get lost in our passion. I think this our gifts can also be our challenges. I won't say curses, but they will be our challenges, and within our challenges we find we find wisdom. And I think that wisdom comes from us knowing and having discernment on who we're supposed to be involved with and who we're not supposed to be involved with. And we make mistakes, and we have our own stuff to work through. But everybody that shows up at your doorstep is not for you, right? And I think we can get lost even in our own talents. We could be blessed with the ability to encourage people, right? But then there are those that would come to you and suck you dry, right, for energy, that
Mhm,
aren't
mhm.
don't want to don't want to change. They want a quote unquote, I call it a venting machine. And is that person, it, uh, are they is that where you're supposed to be, right? I'm not saying don't lend an ear to anyone. I'm not saying don't listen to people and don't be there for people. But there's a difference in being there for people and just being there, right? That person isn't interested in changing. That person is more
Mm,
interested in having company around their misery. They say misery loves company. Dysfunction loves dysfunction, right? And where people are dysfunctional, sometimes they want to see others be as dysfunctional, or they lack the maturity to maintain a healthy form of that relationship. So you may have a friend that isn't mature enough to be your friend. You may have a associate at work that in the space of work they are too talkative or too um, they are lacking in focus, and their lack of focus and coming to your desk or your cubicle or wherever you are, whatever you're doing, is a distraction for you. So don't let your light to others in the attractive nature of light. You know, every bug that comes to the light ain't a butterfly. you know, if
Every
that
caterpillar don't want to be a butterfly like the other day, right?
exactly,
Don't have the ability,
and know what you're attracting
the
too, right? Like
mindset.
your light, you know, honey attracts bees. You know, spoils attract flies. What type of light are you sending out, right? And what responsibility do you have to the people that come to you? I really want to make that. I want you guys to understand that distinction, that this was a place of business, and this man had studied to be a doctor, so he has a communal responsibility to respond to people that have ailments and that have issues like that, right? It would be for me to have someone come to me with that ability and say, okay, or to come to me with an ailment like that, and for me to start working on them. It would actually be worse for me to respond like a physician, because I'm not a physician, right? So imagine my light can be on, they can come to my house, but that assignment isn't mine. If you got a broken leg and you're bleeding all over the place, go down the street there. Or maybe my assignment is to help you get there, but my assignment isn't to fix your leg, right? And so this distinction I was making for men versus women is that, like I remember, Mom, I'm sure in your time with your helpful heart, I remember us picking up the Cuban. Remember the Cuban refugee? You remember Omar? Was it Omar?
Omar.
Omar, man, and that was a beautiful situation. I was a child. We were living up in Raleigh, weren't we?
Yeah.
In the timbers, man. And all I remember is my mom like picking up this random dude, this random African,
Well, if we're gonna tell it now, so because don't make me say, look, this is what happened, y'all, and I shared it once before. I
yeah,
gotta
share because
share the whole thing.
okay, go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
I had gone down. My mom was working at Walgreens at Poplar in Cleveland, and there was a young man. He was at the phone booth, and I could tell he was in distress, like something was happening. And so I went in and did whatever I had to do with my mom, and I came back out and I just couldn't pull away from it. So I asked him what was going on. And y'all, he's sobbing. He's like, I'm trying to get in touch with my mom. I need to talk to my mom. And he was a refugee. He was over here and trying to get back in touch with family at home. So I left and I drove all the way to Raleigh. What was it? Raleigh. Where did we,
The
the
Timbers.
Timbers
Now it's
from
called
Poplar and
Regency at Raleigh.
Cleveland. I drove all the way home. And then I couldn't do it. And it's night, it's at night. And I drove all the way back down to Poplar in Cleveland to get him
From New
because I
Allen
could
Road,
not.
y'all. If y'all in Memphis and you know where New
Yeah,
Allen Road is compared
right,
to where Cleveland is,
right. So I
that's
drove
like
all the way back
30 minutes.
down there. And I said, come on. And I took him, took him home. And we got in touch with his mom. I don't remember how we did it. Something, I don't know. But we
We
were able to reach his mom. And he sat and he cried. And all he said for it felt like an hour. Mama, mama, he was crying out, mama, mama. And the tears just, whew. So they had their moment. So
Look at you about to cry now.
my mom comes home and he's in the house and she's like, what? Because when I went back down to get him, I never went in and told her anything. I was just like,
And good you didn't,
whatever.
because she would have threw a
She
fit.
would have she would have messed it up. Yeah, she would have messed it up. So we ended up being really good friends for a very long time. So
And I think that changed his life, that situation.
Yeah,
I really think that
yeah,
night changed his life. He ended up getting married and starting
right.
a family and becoming a citizen, if I'm not mistaken. And but I remember being a kid, like, who is this random in here? But he was
Yeah.
so nice. I actually really enjoyed him. He was a sweet man. But do you see? And I, all praise be to God for that situation working out well. But do you see the compromised position that you might have put us in, right? Especially
Hmm. Yeah,
today, in
yeah.
today's context, you, a woman, bring this man who, that your heart is bleeding for, into our little apartment, with your young child. How old was that? What, 5?
You were a little bit more than 5, I believe. I think it was. You weren't much older than that. You weren't
Yeah,
kindergarten.
maybe like
You were
6 or 7, maybe.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, six or
Either
seven.
way, it was truly. But yeah, I couldn't get away from that. So I knew that was an assignment. So
Right,
like this doctor, he may have gone to the door wanting to say no to this. But
right,
when miracles happen, when a miracle is taking place, you cannot say no to it. You cannot say no. I'm sorry.
right, right,
And so I
right.
couldn't. And I've had many of those moments over and over and over. And that's why I
Mm.
said,
The
I
woman at the
know
bus
that my
stop,
light's on. Yeah. I mean, I do. I've had many of those moments. The lady at the bus stop. I've had a
Jessica.
lady
Remember
that
the
was
little
stranded on the
girl, Jessica?
interstate. Jessica. I was just going to say about Jessica and I worked in North Carolina at an elementary school, middle school, and Jessica became my little baby girl from the school. And she was coming home with me from North Carolina to Memphis here. And we passed, oh my gosh, she was a child too. We passed this lady, and she was walking. And I knew I had saw a car down before getting to her. And so I figured, her car had stopped on her. And we stopped and we took her to her nearest gas station so she could call someone. And she said nobody stopped to help. Nobody. And this is a woman alone. And this is years and years and years ago. Jessica's the same age as Brandon, and she was sixth grade then. I think
You're
sixth
helping
grade.
somebody while you're helping somebody.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm thankful.
Wow.
But because of this, you guys, I feel like God has never allowed me to fail. I feel like I've come close to it and maybe even failed sometimes, but God.
Yeah.
And when God's doing something, he's doing everything. When he's doing something, and he's always doing something. So everything is always happening. And so I don't see now my struggles. I don't see the things that I grow through as battles or as struggles. I don't.
Right. Right.
While I don't understand them, I trust him. I trust God. And why do I feel like why do I think or say that I'm a servant and then think that that comes without serving? If you go to a restaurant and you're paying for your meal, right? And
Yeah.
you order your food, he's going to serve you, right? So as being a servant, and my purpose is to have my light on and be home. And I say that is being able to bring glory to the kingdom of God through God's strength, not my own, not my own.
Right.
So I'm just thankful that my light is on and that I'm intentional about being home.
Mm.
And I'm thankful for the person whose light is on and they're home for me. I'm thankful for that as well. So,
There's
Brandon, that's all I have. If you want to wrap it up, I know I got some things to do here, and I know you do as well.
Yeah,
So,
I just wanted to give a reference about light. Like light is in Arabic is a nur. It's called nur, and it's often spoke about in the Quran, that light in the heart, right? About being light upon light. Like, think about, even in biblical references, light upon light, right? Um, Light has a metaphysical thing. There's something very interesting about light. Light has the ability to, it's like an energy, right? Like the speed of light is equals mc squared, right? So it's something that has a mass in a sense, um, but uh, is also it's an energy. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So there's something very interesting about light. There's nothing that can go the speed. If something were to go the speed of light, the reason that it doesn't do it, the reason it's very difficult to have something to go to speed of light is because it would have infinitesimal mass, and I don't want to get into the physics of that, right? So if something has a mass has to go the speed of light, it would make its own gravity and its own pulling so much so to where everything else would be sunken in it, almost like a black hole, right? So with this light, know that it is both an energy and an actual physical thing. Like it's something that is in between the plane of the seen and the unseen. Think about regular light that you can see, visible fluorescent light. But now think about ultraviolet light that you can't see, right? There's all types of light that you cannot see, that
Mhm.
animals can see. They're beings that, according to, if you believe in angels, demons, jinn, things like that, that there are things that see you from a place that you cannot see them, right?
Mhm.
There are things that also might see that light and be attracted to you for whatever purpose or reason, whether it be for you or against you. And so I want to make sure that with this sight of light, that one, we're discerned about what that attracts and about the power of that light, but also the gift that it is and the miracle that light can do upon the lives of others. And so be a light to that, to those spaces where you are assigned, because you never know how you can change somebody's life. All the people that, mom, and thinking about all the people that you've helped throughout just me being able to see you in these 30 some odd years, I feel like we've been blessed. We really have been blessed and protected with having these open bleeding hearts for people. We haven't really had any situations that turned bad or sour. It's almost, the probability would say 50% of the people that we would see, would be, uh, could have been harmful to us. You never
Mhm.
know, probability
Mhm.
wise. But
Mhm.
I think we're at like at least 90 something percent of having these positive experiences. So, but God, right? Like it can only
Right.
be God in that situation. So I'm
Right.
not telling you guys to temper the light and who it attracts. But what I'm saying is that just be discern and know when your light is what attracted them, and that you're there on assignment. So that's all we really
Brandon,
got today.
Brandon, let me read this really quick, and then you can do the affirmation. Just like this doctor, each of us has the power, and this sums up what Brandon was just saying, but through our passage. Just like this doctor, each of us has the power to light many lives, right? To
Mhm.
light many lives. And likewise, others have brightened and blessed our lives in so many ways. None of us knows the strength and the power of our lights. I'm going to say that again. Brandon was speaking about some light that we cannot see, right? None of us knows the strength and the power of our lights. These lights shine brightest when they brighten the paths of others. And that just says it's a blessing to be a blessing. Blessing to be a blessing. I was thinking last night about someone in particular. Brandon, I'll have to share this with you off the show. This person has worked all of his life, sometimes two, three jobs at a time, most times. But I see them continue to struggle in many ways, right?
Mhm.
And it's because this is my opinion, right? And my thought process of this is that they're so tight. They don't give. They have this thing, and they've said to me, nobody ever gave me anything, which is so not true. So not true. Nobody gave, in fact, they say nobody ever gave me a damn thing. So what they're doing is then they feel like, well, I don't have to give anybody a damn thing either.
You were given life, homie.
And so your works are not fruitful. Your tree is not
Mhm.
fruitful because it is a blessing to be a blessing. It is a blessing to let your light so shine. But you
Mhm.
can't let it shine if it's not shining in you. So this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Right? Do the affirmation, Brandon. Let's get out of here.
Appreciate that breakdown. We're gonna get you singing. You singing more and more and more. Every show I catch you singing, I'm gonna have to get a recording and put them all together of all the times you sing on the show.
I'll do it.
There you
And
go.
I've been told
Look,
I can't sing, but I don't care. I'm gonna sing.
hey, you do what you got to do, baby. You do it. But no, again, guys, thank you guys for rocking with us. The title for today on April 25th from the Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro is "The Light is On in Somebody's Home." And thank you guys. Even if you're not African American, these are inspirations just told through the story and context and lens of African Americans that would highlight it and make it most impactful for those, because many of our stories aren't told through that lens. So, but you don't have to have that lens or be from that community in order to benefit. So if you're invited and you're here, welcome to the cookout. We not only want you to eat, but we want you to take a plate home, so that we can all come together in this type of communion. So today's title is "The Light is On in Somebody's Home," and the quote of the day comes from John Lucas, the old NBA coach and recovering addict. It says here. And he said, "I believe in miracles. I'm living proof that anybody can come back from the dead." Right? And we had that passage about the doctor who saw the man who was unkept, smelly, hadn't taken a shower, and he didn't want to treat this man, but he did it anyway. Months later, the guy comes back and says, "Thank you. You made between life and death, living and dying for me." And the guy was cleaned up, nice. Everything had changed in his life. And that was the doctor. And just like this doctor, each of us has the power to light many lives. And likewise, others have brightened and blessed our lives in so many ways. None of us knows the strength and the power of our lights. These lights shine brightest when they brighten the paths of others. The affirmation for today that we read 3 times: one time for me, one time for you, and one time for the person or people that you are going to send this to and share this inspiration and affirmation with. And it is, "I will be a point of light and light the paths of others." You know, you're not the light for everybody. You're a point of light, right? I will be a point of light and light the path of others. And I'll either say it out loud or say it internally. I will be a point of light and light the path of others. So y'all go out there and be that beacon of light. Lead by example. Be discerned. Be helpful. And don't be tight-fisted with your gifts. You can't receive anything if your hands are tight-fisted like this. Open those fingers up. Be welcoming, but be discerned. The same hand that you can welcome with, you can say no. So just keep that discernment, guys, as we move throughout the day. We live in a slightly different time than even when this book was written. So I think that context we always have to transpose over. But go out there, be great, be a light to somebody else's life, and in doing so, make yours brighter. Thank y'all so much. We will see y'all tomorrow at 7 a.m. on the End This Season podcast with me, your co-host Brandon the Gladiator Gator, and the beautiful, the dynamic, the transformative butterfly, this beautiful lady right here, my mom. We'll see y'all then. Take care. Go be blessed. Be a light to somebody.
Peace.
Peace.